Be Johnny Cash's library. You'll notice that the walls on over here would have been, that way would have been the original walls from the house when it was built in 1837. Everything from here over was built when Johnny Cash was here. He had it all built on extra for him. Come on and make yourself at home, that's right.
So this is a library.
So this would have been his library.
Been sitting in it. I want to sit in it.
So this would have been his library. He would sit here. There's a book of his that he has written, and it talks about watching from this window as a storm was rolling in, and he was writing a song.
Oh,
Which I
wow.
think that is so completely amazing.
So what song did he write? Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't say
We
in the
don't know what
book.
song he wrote.
Huh?
We don't know what song he
I
wrote.
don't know what the song was, but it's pretty interesting to see.
Yeah.
He would have been sitting right here watching the storm roll in.
Yeah.
There was only one phone in the house. Actually, when he bought this place, there was no phone in the house. But June decided he needed to have one out here so she could get a hold of him. Only two people had that phone number. One, of course, was June, and the other was Jimmy Carter. Now, why would Jimmy Carter have Johnny Cash's phone number, right? Well, they would call each other for advice. Now, what advice do you think Jimmy Carter could get from Johnny Cash? He would actually tell him things to do with our great nation. He would say, "Hey, this is what's going on, John. What do you think I should do about this?" Now, what would Johnny Cash call Jimmy for, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he called him and said, "Hey, I've been out trying to get this bait on my hook, and I'm just not getting any fish coming in. What do you suggest I do?" So I think that's pretty interesting. You know, Jimmy Carter. John had a very good communication with him, but no one was better than family. So Tommy had came over. Tommy Cash is Johnny's younger brother. You'll hear a couple stories from him. But Tommy Cash had came over, and John was on the phone with Jimmy Carter. He says, "Hey, I gotta let you go. My brother's here." And he just hung up the phone to the president. If you're Johnny Cash, you can do you.
Right?
Well, family
So,
first.
Some of the artifacts you see are actually of Johnny Cash's that he had when he was living here. This painting you see right back here was one of the original paintings you can see here was on his wall, which I
Oh,
find
so
very
this
cool and
is-
interesting. That picture right there has been in our barn in storage for many years, up until since we bought the place. Or since they bought the place, I didn't buy it.
I'm surprised.
I wish. And we
Good
just
machine.
discovered within recent pictures that we have found that it was actually here. So that's a pretty important picture.
It survived the
I
bomb.
can't believe it didn't either. There's one in here.
It's amazing.
We're gonna go at Mitchell.
Rolling orders.
No.
Johnny Cash's desk.
Tour guide.
Okay.
He wrote a
I'm
song
tour
at this
guide,
desk.
Mitchell. Remember me telling you that he had
Yep.
albums there? I didn't even know he had.
I know.
Like Born and Sang, had no idea.
Me either.
We're coming through this way.
I know.
Oh,
I gotta sit in this. I gotta sit in this.
Wow,
actual
look at
John's
this.
actual chair.
This was there, this one is the actual recliner, you can't sit in.
Yeah.
This one's got his name on it.
So zip it. He's family, I can do that. So as you come into this room, you notice that the Bible is in the center room, and that's because we all keep God in the center of our hearts here. We are a Christian foundation here, and we keep God in the very center of our hearts here. Usually we have him reading from the Bible, Johnny Cash reading from the Bible, but that CD's just not in today.
Okay.
Something's wrong with it, so I couldn't get it going. Leave a seat for Moses. That came from Israel. Johnny Cash had brought it over from Israel.
Wow.
So
That-
we always leave
that-
it for Moses.
this?
This chair was in Johnny Cash's office for most of his career. It is all leather embroidered just for him. Cindy, his daughter, had it for many years, and then she brought it here to the farm so we could all enjoy it, of course. The outfits you see over here were on the Johnny Cash show. I don't know if y'all remember that. I had to Google it. I didn't remember it. But it was really interesting, an old variety show, so that's fun. These two beautiful ugly chairs you see on each side are from when Jesse Coulter and June Carter had given Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings a sobriety party. We'll let that sink in a minute. Not really sure how long that lasted, but here we are. So this story I get to tell you comes from Cindy Cash. I get to hang out with a lot of the Cash family, so they get to tell me stories I can tell you, and definitely some I cannot tell people. But the picture, if you will, there would have been a couch sitting right here, and this one comes from Cindy, like I said, and they were out one day and they were shooting some pop cans and stuff. No animals were harmed in this story. And they were shooting pop cans and whatever out in the back here. And they came in for the day, and John looked at Cindy and says, "Hey girl, you done shooting today?" "Well, no, Daddy, if you want to go back outside, we can sure go back outside." He says, "Nah," and he lifted his pistol up to the ceiling and took a shot. And he told Cindy, "Just get as close as you can." So they had a little target practice in the house, and you can see the bullet holes on
Yeah.
there.
Right.
There's a little 22 pistol, but you know.
Oh,
Cindy tells a story about how they would pick out the bullets, and the story was, "Don't tell Mom." And then June found out, and then John said we should have said, "Don't tell June either."
Right.
So I think those are pretty funny. We have a lot of special guests that come out to the farm. Randy Travis just did a new upcoming video with Tony Jackson, which he's going to be amazing. And they filmed it right here. Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks have been out here. They came out for a wedding. Do y'all know who Carl Perkins is?
Mhm.
Okay, so Stan Perkins comes out quite a bit. He's super weird, but he's a nice guy.
Got all the singing for
Let's see, of course, the bust of Johnny Cash. Now that chair over there, that was a beautiful chair that was in Hendersonville for many years. And then when they received this place, June thought it would look so much better out at the farm.
I can see why.
I'm just saying.
Listen, you know, when you get something that comfortable, it don't matter how it
Yeah,
looks.
he really loved that chair. So yeah, but it looks better out in the farm. The gentleman you see over there, that is Mr. Sato. And Mr. Sato he's from Japan, and he does covers of Johnny Cash.
Oh, wow.
Johnny Cash got
wow.
to meet him, and they swapped guitars, which there's usually a guitar in there. I'm not really sure where it is today. But usually it's in there and it's really small, and him and Johnny Cash, of course, Johnny Cash is a very big man. So he was playing
That little tiny
that little
guitar.
tiny guitar. So it was kind of cute. And then the metal placard thing you see here, the
Pause.
statue, that is from September 11th. That is when the towers went down, and that was made from the towers.
Oh.
Johnny Cash had a very hard time, just like the rest of the world did. He called his daughter Cindy and said, "You need to come get me. I want to go to the farm." And he spent about 2 weeks out here with no TV, no nothing, and just sat and prayed and sat in what the
And
rest of us sat into.
What's from 9/11? What was from 9/11?
The cash thing right there was made for Johnny Cash out of the
Oh, out of the Twin
Twin
Towers? Like the.
yeah.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
the two people you see right here as Luther, they were the caretakers of the property for many years throughout Johnny Cash's pretty much all the time he had the place. They were very good people. I got a story about their daughter that's very cute in another room, but just remember that couple. They were very nice people. We lost both of them. That was a hard loss because I got to know them really well.
So those aren't Johnny Cash's guitars, are they?
No, so that was one of Hank Jr.'s, like a replica, the one that they made several of. No, nothing original Johnny Cash's in here.
This is a cool
Guitar.
guitar.
Yes.
That's a pretty nifty guitar. Like that. But these are signed by somebody.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
Mr.
case.
Sato's. Can you see how small it is?
Yep.
I'll get you when you're all ready. Come on through here. I got your next story for you.